Hi everybody, it's Miss Annie from the Youth Room at the Wakefield Library, and I am here to bring you the weekly virtual story time. So we will read a couple stories together, we will sing some songs together, and we'll do a craft together at the end of the video. Now this week, I was thinking a lot about different animals that I see around the garden and some animals that I see at the barnyard too. So I thought, what would be some fun stories to read about some silly and mischievous animals that we find in the barn and in the garden? So I thought this week we could read Giggle Giggle Quack by Doreen Cronin, and the artwork was done by Betsy Lewin. And we can also read Muncha Muncha Muncha. And this is written by Candace Fleming, and the artwork was done by G. Brian Karras. And both of these books are read with permission from Simon & Schuster Publishers. Now, since we're thinking about different barnyard animals, I thought we could make one of our own for this week's craft. So this week, I thought we could make our own paper chicks. So they look just like this, nice and round. And for these, we're just gonna need a couple of things to make our paper chicks. First, well, of course we need some paper. Colored paper is really great for this. If you don't have any colored paper, you can always use white paper, and you can make it colorful with crayons, markers, or colored pencils. So there's lots of different ways to do this. And you know, I picked out yellow for my chick, but you might want to have a blue one or a pink chick, so you can get really clever and creative with the different colors that you have. In addition to our paper, we're also going to need a pair of scissors to cut out some shapes. And we are going to need some tape to tape things down. And you'll probably also want a marker as well to draw a little face on your chick. And we'll go over how to make our paper chicks at the end of the video. So now let's go ahead and why don't we get started, and we'll start with our opening song, Hello Friends, and we're going to use a little bit of American Sign Language to help us sing this song. So I'll go over all of the signs that we're going to need right now. First we need hello, a little salute, hello. We go, hello, friends. So we take our pointer fingers and we tap them crisscross, friends. It's time, and we tap our wrist for time. To say, we point to our lips for say, hello, and we salute again. Ready to sing? Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Great job. So another song that I always like to do before we start our stories is waking up our hands. We can wake up a couple different body parts with this one. So how about we start by waking up our hands, and we'll wake those up with a couple of claps. Ready? We wake up our hands with a clap, 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 clap. We wake up our hands with a clap, 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 and we wiggle our waggles away. We wake up our wrist with a twist, 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 twist. We wake up our wrist with a twist, 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 and we wiggle our waggles away. We wake up our shoulders with a shake, 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 shake. We wake up our shoulders with a shake, 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 and we wiggle our waggles away. We wake up our toes with a tap, 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 tap. We wake up our toes with a tap, 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 and we wiggle our waggles away. Woo! Get all those wiggles out. Well, I am feeling nice and awake, and I am very ready to get started with our stories for today. How about you? Let's go ahead and we'll start with Giggle Giggle Quack. So who do we have here? Well, let's start reading and find out. Giggle Giggle Quack. And the words were written by Doreen Cronin, and the artwork was done by Betsy Lewin. Let's see what happens on this farm. Farmer Brown was going on vacation. He left his brother, Bob, in charge of the animals. So what are they doing? We see Farmer Brown is making a list. I wrote everything down for you. Just follow my instructions and everything will be fine. But keep an eye on Duck. He's trouble. Farmer Brown thought he heard giggles and snickers as he drove away, but he couldn't be sure. So let's see, what animals do we see on this farm? I see some hens. I see some cows. And I see that duck. And what's the duck looking at here? He's looking at a pencil. I wonder what that duck is going to do with a pencil. Bob gave Duck a good long stare and went inside. He read the first note. Tuesday night is pizza night, not the frozen kind. The hens prefer anchovies. Giggle, giggle, cluck. Do you think that's really the note Farmer Brown left? I think someone with a pencil might be changing things. Well, let's see. Look at all that pizza everyone has. Duck's note worked. 29 minutes later, and there was hot pizza in the barn. Bob checked on the animals before he went to bed. Everything was just fine. Another note. Let's see what this one says. Wednesday is bath day for the pigs. Wash them with my favorite bubble bath and then dry them off with my good towels. Remember, they have very sensitive skin. Giggle, giggle, oink. Bob had all the pigs washed in no time. Do you think those pigs are supposed to be using Farmer Brown's bubble bath and Farmer Brown's good towels? I don't know. Farmer Brown called home on Wednesday night to check in. Did you feed the animals like I wrote in the note, he asked. Done, replied Bob, counting 7 empty pizza boxes. Did you see my note about the pigs? All taken care of, said Bob proudly. Are you keeping a very close eye on Duck? He asked. Bob gave Duck a good long stare. Duck was too busy sharpening his pencil to notice. Just keep him in the house, ordered Farmer Brown. He's a bad influence on the cows. Giggle, giggle, moo. Giggle, giggle, oink. Giggle, quack. Thursday night is movie night. It's the cows' turn to pick. Giggle, giggle, moo. Bob was in the kitchen popping corn. Just as the animals settled in to watch the sound of music, the phone rang. Who could that be? Let's find out who's calling. Uh-oh. The only thing Farmer Brown heard on the other end was giggle, giggle, quack, giggle, moo, giggle, oink. Uh-oh. Duck! Screamed Farmer Brown. And Duck wrote a note. What does it say? "It's for you, Bob." The animals don't want to take that call. And back storms Farmer Brown. And that's the end of Giggle Giggle Quack. So that duck was pretty mischievous. He was being a little naughty, huh? So before we read our next book together, how about we get a couple of our wiggles out? So let's start with wiggling our fingers. Can you wiggle your fingers a little bit? And next, how about we wiggle our toes? You can't see my toes, but I'm wiggling them. And what about your shoulders? Can you wiggle your shoulders? And what about your nose? Can you wiggle your nose? Let's do them all together. I wiggle my fingers. I wiggle my toes. I wiggle my shoulders. And I wiggle my nose. And now all the wiggles are out of me, and I'm as still can be. So let's read our next book together now. So this time I don't see any cows or ducks or pigs, but I think I see some rabbits here. Muncha, muncha, muncha. And the words were written by Candace Fleming, and the artwork was done by G. Brian Karras. For years, Mr. McCree Lee dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, growing yummy vegetables, and gobbling them all up. But he never once tried it until... "This spring," said Mr. McCree Lee, "this spring, by golly, I'm going to plant a garden." So he hoed and he sowed and he watched his garden grow. And who else is watching that garden grow? Let's find out. Lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes. Yum, yum, yummy, said Mr. Greeley. I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies. But one night, when the sun went down and the moon came up, 3 hungry bunnies appeared. And now a fun thing about this book is that we can do different sounds together for the bunnies. Ready? Tippy, 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 pat. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Eating all of those veggies. Uh-oh. Next morning, when Mr. McCree Lee saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. There, he declared, no bunny can get into my garden now. Do you see the bunnies anywhere in this picture? I think I see them looking over the wall. What will they do? And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat, spring hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, muncha. They still got those veggies. The next morning, when Mr. McCree Lee saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. Humph, he huffed. Those flop ears will never get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now. Do you see the bunnies in this picture? I see them looking over here. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat, dig, scrabble, scratch, 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 spring, hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McCree Lee saw his chewed stems and nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really, really angry. So he made a deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. "Ha!" he snorted. "Those pufftails can't get under it. They can't get over it. They can't get through it. No bunny can get into my garden now." Did you see the bunnies anywhere? Let's see what they do. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat, dive, paddle, splash, 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 dig, scrabble, scratch, 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 spring, hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McCree Lee saw his chomped blossoms, his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was furious! So he hammered and blocked and sawed and stalked, drilled and filled and trapped and locked, and he built a huge, enormous thing before the deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. "I've outsmarted those twitch whiskers for sure," he exclaimed. "They can't get through it, they can't get under it, and they can't get over it. No bunny, no way, no how can get into my vegetable garden now." Did you see the bunnies? How will they get past this? And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 stop. What's this? It looks like a lock. The three hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them, and tippy, 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 pat, the bunnies hopped away. The next morning, when Mr. McCree Lee saw his untouched vegetables, he was happy. "I beat the bunnies!" He whooped and did a jiggly wiggly victory dance. Do you see the bunnies anywhere? I see them here, and it looks like they're headed toward Mr. McCree Lee's basket. Then Mr. McCree Lee climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. And there he goes. What's in the basket there? I think I see some ears. Let's find out what happens in this garden now. "Ah," sighed Mr. McCree Lee, "at last." Smacking his lips, he picked and pulled up lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes, and with his basket overflowing, he reached inside for something yummy. Muncha, muncha, muncha! Those bunnies were in the basket. And Mr. McCree Lee has to share his vegetables. The end. Well, those were some pretty silly animals in both of those stories, huh? So, how about we sing a couple of songs together before we do our craft at the end of the video? Let's start out with Open Shut Them. And I like this one because we'll get to use our hands a little bit. Ready? Put my hands up like this. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Put them in your lap, lap, lap. Creep them, crawl them, creep them, crawl them. Right up to your chin, chin, chin. Open wide, your little mouth, but do not let them in. Good job. So for our next song, I thought since we were reading about different animals at the farm, why don't we sing Old MacDonald together? Ready? Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a pig, E-I-E-I-O. With an oink oink here and an oink oink there, here an oink, there an oink, everywhere an oink oink. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a... Who's this? A duck, E-I-E-I-O. With a quack quack here and a quack quack there, here a quack, there a quack, everywhere a quack quack. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a cow. What does the cow say? Moo, E-I-E-I-O. With a moo moo here and a moo moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a... Who's this? A hen, just like on Farmer Brown's farm, E-I-E-I-O. With a cluck cluck here and a cluck cluck there, here a cluck, there a cluck, everywhere a cluck cluck. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a... Who's here? A sheep, E-I-E-I-O. With a... What sound does the sheep make? With a ba-ba here and a ba-ba there, here a ba, there a ba, everywhere a ba-ba. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Great job! There's lots of different animals that we see on that farm, huh? So for our last song before we do our craft, I thought we could sing a song called Put Your Hands Up High. And this one's pretty fun because you'll want to listen to my words and follow my actions, and we're going to use our bodies to become an animal on the farm. Let's see if you can figure out what it is. Ready? Put your hands up high, put your hands down low, put your hands in the middle and wiggle just so. Put your elbows in the front, put your elbows in the back, put your elbows to the side and quack, quack, quack. What animal did we become? Quack, quack, quack. A duck. Let's do it a couple more times, and this one will have a little bit of fun and we'll get faster and faster every time. Do you think you can do it? Let's give it a try. Ready? Put your hands up high, put your hands down low, put your hands in the middle and wiggle just so. Put your elbows in the front, put your elbows in the back, put your elbows to the side and quack, quack, quack. Put your hands up high, put your hands down low, put your hands in the middle and wiggle just so. Put your elbows in the front, put your elbows in the back, put your elbows to the side and quack, quack, quack. Put your hands up high, put your hands down low, put your hands in the middle and wiggle just so. Put your elbows to the front, put your elbows in the back, put your elbows to the side and quack, quack, quack. Phew! That was a fast one, huh? So let's sing one last song together before we do our craft. And this is our song, Goodbye Friends. And this is very similar to the one we sang in the beginning, Hello Friends. And we're going to use some American Sign Language. But instead of saying hello, we're gonna say goodbye. And I'll go over the signs again. So we say goodbye, give a wave, goodbye. Friends, our pointer fingers go crisscross, friends. It's time, we tap our wrist, time. To say, point to our lips for say, goodbye. Ready? Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Great job singing. So how about we do our craft together now? So again, we're gonna make our own little paper chicks today. And what you will need to make these, we're gonna need some colored paper, or if you have white paper, you're gonna want something to color with, like crayons or markers or colored pencils to make your white paper nice and colorful. We're gonna need some scissors. We're gonna need some tape. And last but not least, we are gonna need a marker. So the first thing that we gotta do is we need to cut out the chick's body. And for that, we're gonna use a thick strip of paper, just like this. And to make it into the shape of the body, I'm gonna take it and put it in a circle like this. And then I'm just gonna take my tape here, and I am going to just tape down the sides to hold it in place. And now that was a thick strip of paper, and it was a little bit long. So for the chick's head, I'm gonna take a thinner and shorter strip of paper like this, and I'm gonna make this one into a circle as well. And just like before, I'm gonna take my tape, and I'm gonna make sure that circle stays in place, nice and secure. So now I have the head and the body. So I'm gonna put one right on top of the other, and I'm gonna use my tape again to connect them. We're using a lot of tape in this one. And the next thing we're going to need for our chick, once we have the head and the body together like this, looks like the number 8, right? We're gonna need some little wings for our paper chick. And for these, I used long triangles, and I cut 2 so it can have 2 wings. And you might have guessed, I'm gonna tape them again. And I'm gonna tape them to the underside of the big circle. So I have my triangle here, and then I'm gonna put this right on the inside and hold it in place. And I like to bend them up just a little bit. You can have the wings in the air, or you can bend them down if you like. You can get pretty creative and decide what direction you want the wings to go. And let me just put the second wing on. All right, so we have 2 wings, we have our body, we have our head, and the next thing we need are a pair of eyes and a beak. So I'll do the eyes first. For these, I decided to cut out 2 small circles, and I drew little eyes on them. And I'm gonna go ahead and tape those down. But you might not wanna cut out circles. Maybe you wanna take your marker and draw the eyes right onto your chick. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this part. You don't have to do it the way that I did. Just a suggestion. So you've got the eyes now. A little hard to see with the lighting there. And now we need a beak. So I didn't have any orange paper when I made this. But I did have a couple orange sticky notes, little sticky tabs. So I'm going to take one of those and I'm going to fold it. It's good to fold your piece of paper here. And then make sure the folded part is facing you and cut out a triangle shape now. And this is going to look like a beak. So the reason that you want to make sure that it's folded is because once you have your triangle, it opens just like a beak at the fold. And once again, I am going to use a little bit of tape. And we're going to tape it just underneath the chick's eyes. And now he has a little beak. So lastly, we need to give our chick some feet. But the first thing I'm going to do is cut out a shape for the chick to stand on. For this one, I just used a little purple index card and made it a fun shape. You can also make maybe a leaf. Maybe the chick sits on a flower. So you can get creative and cut out any shape you want. For this one that I'm making with you today, I cut out a little blue circle. And then I'm going to cut out the shape for the feet. And you want 2 feet for your chick. This is sort of like a really long oval, like a sausage shape for the little toes. And then I'm going to stick them just onto the paper like that. And you can use a little tape for this. You can use glue as well. Sometimes I think the tape works a little bit better, but that is just from my experience. And then I'm going to take my chick and I'm going to put him right on top of the feet so you can see them sticking out underneath. And I'm going to use my tape and make this chick nice and secure so he doesn't go anywhere with those wings flapping. And there you are. And that's how you make a little paper chick. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and for reading a couple stories together and singing some songs and making our craft together as well. I had a great time with you, and I will see you again in a couple weeks. I think you will see my friend Miss Heidi for the story time next week. Bye everybody. See you later.